Okay, I'm going to introduce you to Endaoment, a no-loss DAO. So what's the problem? Well, put simply, public goods are critically important, but they're very hard to fund. And it turns out they're especially hard to fund for global digital communities that might not have the traditional ways, such as nonprofits, to pool and allocate capital together. So how do we address this? Well, some of the solutions that have been explored recently and really throughout history are, first of all, to encourage strong social norms around contributing to the development of public goods. So basically encouraging a sense of charity. And then, of course, more recently, we've seen the development of novel mechanisms for allocating these funds using DAOs. So basically using smart contracts on blockchains as a mechanism to serve as the kind of treasury role for distributing funds for digital global communities. Of course, the primary example of this, the most successful example of this in the last couple of years has been the Moloch DAO, which has well over $1 million worth of capital that's been contributed to it and has served out a number of high-profile grants to fund the development of public goods in the Ethereum world. From that, we've seen spin-offs such as MetaCartel, which funds the development of dApps, and then DAO House, which allows anyone to launch a Moloch-based DAO for whatever community that group of people is passionate about. So this is a great amount of progress. It's impressive in its own right, but there are some limitations. Primarily, these DAOs require a continuous flow of new donors to provide funds for new grants. And so in this regard, it's unclear how sustainable these are and whether they're capable of providing continuous sustainable funds for things that require people to be working on them in a constant way with a predictable amount of revenue. So that's where Endaoment comes in. As a no-loss DAO, you can think of Endaoment as combining Moloch DAO and Pool Together. Pool Together, of course, being a no-loss lottery. In our system, instead of using the funds to award a prize to a random participant, the funds from participants' tribute are paid out to a specified recipient. So here are the details. It's a source fork of Moloch, and it preserves all the basic incentive mechanisms of that system, which have worked fairly well over the last couple of years. The grant money comes from the interest earned using Compound. Members of the DAO can rage quit at any time and retain all of the capital that they initially put in. So the interest is directed to an elected recipient via our DAI, or it is held by the DAO until another recipient is chosen. So in short, this enables digital communities to, so to speak, hire and fire an individual or a team to work on public goods that matter to them for a period of time. A quick demo using this proof of concept UI that we've developed, a front end to the Endaoment smart contracts. So we've set up a DAO that has 2 members, and it currently has a recipient designated, and that recipient is earning interest. Now, that recipient can choose to extract that interest at any time, but to date they haven't, so they have 0 RDAI balance. If they wanted to, they could take it out at their leisure, but what we're going to do now is show the process for submitting a new proposal to change who the recipient is going to be. So now a DAO member is going to choose the new recipient's address and submit a proposal for this new recipient. So we see that the number of proposals we have has increased. If we go down here, we can use, again, this very rough UI to see some metadata about this proposal that's been put forward. Great, so now that the time has passed by us running our little development script, we can return to this proposal, and as the person who submitted it, presumably I want to vote yes for this. So this DAO member is going to vote yes on this proposal, and now his votes are recorded and visible here, weighted according to the tribute that he has paid into this DAO. So now that we're again moved forward into the future, a member of the DAO, or in fact anyone, could come along and choose to process this proposal so that it takes effect. So the current grant recipient is going to be updated once this is processed. So we see this address has changed to the new recipient of the grant. So effective immediately, this recipient will now receive any interest that is earned on the locked funds in the DAO. But most interestingly, we can see that our original recipient, who had been the recipient for some time, when that was changed, his DAI was paid out to him. So here we see about 5 cents were paid out to him in our DAI, and he can redeem his R DAI for DAI and get this payment. So this has just been a brief demo of the proposal system for the endowment contracts.